GTA 5 has sold over 230 million copies. It has been re-released 3 separate times across 3 different console generations. It made $1 billion in its first 3 days. And with GTA 6 finally launching on November 19th, 2026, an entire era of gaming is about to end. But somewhere between the Oppressor Mark II griefers and the $50 shark cards. We forgot what GTA 5 actually felt like when it was brand new, when you ripped open that plastic wrap on September 17th, 2013 and loaded into Los Santos for the very first time. These are 10 things that only the day one players remember. And if you lived through all 10, congratulations, you survived the wildest era in online gaming history. Number 10. The midnight launch lines before digital downloads took over, you had to physically go outside and stand in a line to buy a video game. On the night of September 16th, 2013, GameStop, Best Buy, EB Games, and game stores across the world opened their doors at midnight. The lines wrapped around buildings. Some people camped out for hours in advance. A Best Buy in downtown Toronto had a full launch party with gamers lining up by 10 p.m. Game stores in the UK had hundreds of people queued up outside. In the United States, it was the biggest midnight launch the industry had ever seen. The energy was more like a movie premiere than a video game release. And here is what makes it hit different now. The next GTA game drops on November 19th, 2026. Most people will just click a button and preload it digitally. There will be no lines, no strangers bonding over the same excitement at 2 a.m., no driving home with the case on your passenger seat like you just robbed a bank yourself. That entire ritual is gone, and GTA 5 was one of the last games that truly had it. Number 9. Installing 2 discs on the Xbox 360. If you bought GTA 5 on the Xbox 360, you opened that case and found 2 discs inside. Disc 1 was the install disc. You had to sit there and watch a progress bar crawl across your screen for what felt like an eternity before you could even think about playing. Then you swapped to disc 2. The play disc, which stayed in the tray every time you wanted to load the game. PS3 players had it slightly easier with a single Blu-ray disc, but they also dealt with a mandatory install that ate up a massive chunk of their hard drive. We are talking about consoles that shipped with maybe 250 or 500 gigabytes of storage total. This was a game so absurdly large for its time that the hardware literally could not hold it on one disc. Rockstar pushed the Xbox 360 and PS3 to their absolute breaking point, and both of those consoles somehow ran a game that today still gets re-released on modern hardware. That is insane when you think about it. Quick thing before we get to the craziest entries on this list. The analytics on this channel show that over 80% of you watching right now are not subscribed. That means you keep coming back for the content, but the algorithm has no reason to recommend the next video to you. If any of these are already hitting you with nostalgia, hit subscribe so you do not miss the rest. We have a lot more GTA content coming. Number 8. The GTA Online launch disaster. GTA Online launched on October 1st, 2013, exactly 2 weeks after the story mode, and it was a complete disaster. Rockstar's servers were absolutely not ready for the number of people trying to get in. The game would crash during the tutorial race with Lamar, characters would vanish, progress would delete itself overnight. Some people could not even get past the opening cutscene for days. IN gave GTA Online harsh coverage, noting low player counts in matches, long wait times in lobbies, constant disconnections, and random crashes. GameSpot originally scored the online mode a 7 out of 10, then later dropped it to a 6 after ongoing issues. Digital Spy gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and the reviewer said he literally lost his character data. Rockstar eventually apologized and gave every player who logged in during October 2013 a stimulus package of $500,000 in GTA cash. $500,000 felt like real money back then. You could buy a nice apartment, a decent car, and still have cash left over. Today, $500,000 in GTA Online barely covers a paint job on a flying motorcycle. But in 2013, that stimulus package felt like Rockstar personally writing you an apology check. Number 7. DN's money lobbies. If you know what DN's codes are, you are an OG. Period. No debate. In late 2013 and early 2014, players discovered that you could change the DN settings on your PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 and connect to modded private servers. These servers manipulated GTR Online's economy in ridiculous ways. Store robberies paid out millions instead of thousands. Bounties jumped from a couple grand to literally $1 billion. You could walk into a lobby and some random stranger would just hand you more money than the game was designed to handle. People were running around with $3, $4, $5 billion in their bank accounts, buying every car, every property, every weapon. The entire economy was broken wide open, and nobody cared because it was the most fun anyone had ever had in an online game. Then, Rockstar brought down the hammer. They did a massive money wipe across the entire player base. Billions of dollars disappeared overnight. Some people got thrown into cheater pools, some got banned entirely. It was the first time JATA Online showed that Rockstar was willing to reset the economy, and it would not be the last. But for those few months where dance lobbies were the Wild West, nothing in gaming has ever come close. Number 6. Grinding rooftop rumble for hours before heists existed. Before the Cayo Perico heist made everyone a solo millionaire. Before there were 50 different ways to make money in GTA Online. There was one mission, one single mission that the entire community ran on repeat like it was a full-time job. Rooftop Rumble. This was a Martin Madrazo contact mission where you had to kill some FIB agents in a parking garage and steal some documents. The original version was laughably easy. The agents spawned on the roof and you could snipe them from a distance. Then you just blew up the documents and collected a fat payout. Rockstar patched it multiple times. They moved the enemies to the ground floor. They made the documents impossible to destroy early. They added waves of backup. They completely overhauled the payout structure in August 2014 to scale with time spent. But every time they patched it, the community found a new way to speedrun it. When you mention Rooftop Rumble to any OG GTA Online player, you will see a very specific look in their eyes. It is the look of someone who replayed the same 6-minute mission 200 times in a row and somehow enjoyed every single one. Number 5. Waiting 2 years for heists. Rockstar promised heists before GTA Online even launched. The trailers showed coordinated 4-player robberies, matching outfits, getaway drivers, the works. Then, October 2013 came and went. Then, all of 2014 came and went. Heists did not arrive until March 10th, 2015, a year and a half after they were first promised. The community waited so long that it became a running joke. People made memes. People made countdown websites. Every single Rockstar announcement was met with the same comment: "Where are the heists?" And then they actually dropped the Fleeca job, the Prison Break, the Humane Labs raid, Series A funding, and the Pacific Standard job, which became the gold standard for cooperative gameplay. And honestly, when they finally arrived, they lived up to the hype. The Pacific Standard finale alone, where your team has to fight through waves of noose units and escape on motorcycles, is still one of the best cooperative missions ever designed in any game. It just took Rockstar roughly 525 days to deliver it. Number 4. The Mount Chiliad mystery. This is the greatest unsolved video game mystery of all time. And it started the week GTA 5 launched. At the top of Mount Chiliad, inside the cable car station, players found a mural. It showed a network of branching lines connecting 3 symbols, what appeared to be an egg, a UFO, and what the community interpreted as a man wearing a jetpack. Nearby, carved into an observation platform, were the words "Return when your story is complete." The internet lost its mind. Players 100%ed the game, returned to the mountain during a thunderstorm at 3 am, and a holographic UFO appeared in the sky. That confirmed one symbol. But the jetpack and the egg remained unsolved. A subreddit called Mount Chiliad Mystery formed and became a full-blown investigation unit. People overlaid the mural on top of the game map. They decoded Morse code from radio frequencies. They found hidden glyphs, golden peyote plants that turned you into Bigfoot, and a secret phone that caused explosions above the player's head. For years, the community believed a hidden jetpack was buried somewhere in the code. Then, in December 2017, Rockstar added a purchasable jetpack to GTA Online through the Doomsday Heist update. It was not a mystery reward, it was just a vehicle you could buy. And that was the moment a lot of hunters realized the grand mystery might have never had a grand payoff, but the journey itself, the thousands of hours of collective investigation across an entire community, became legendary. No other game has ever inspired anything like it. Number 3. The stock market actually working in story mode here is a feature that existed from day one and most players completely ignored until it was too late. Getter 5 story mode had a fully functional stock market. 2 of them, actually. The Elcine Exchange, which responded to in-game events, and the Borsak Exchange, which was connected to the online community's collective actions. The real play was Lester's assassination missions. If you waited until after you finished the main story and had all of Michael, Franklin and Trevor's money pooled together, you could invest everything in specific stocks right before each assassination. Then, after the target company's competitor got taken out, the stock you bought would skyrocket. We are talking about turning millions into billions. The Life Invader mission alone could make you filthy rich if you shorted the right stock before the presentation. Online guides eventually mapped out the exact sequence. Buy Debonair before the first assassination. Buy Fruit before the second. The returns were absurd. The stock market is still in the game today, but because Borsak was tied to the Rockstar servers and PS3 and Xbox 360 online services shut down on December 16th, 2021, a huge chunk of that system is effectively dead on the original platforms. Players who experienced it in those early months, when the community was collectively moving stock prices in real time, saw something that Rockstar has never replicated. Number 2. The scrapped single-player deal. This one still hurts. After GTA 5 launched, Rockstar publicly announced that single-player DLC was in development. Fans expected something on the scale of The Ballad of Gay Tony or The Lost and Damned, which were the brilliant expansions Rockstar made for GTA 4. Data miners found evidence in the game files of at least 2 planned expansions. One was codenamed Trevor and was rumored to involve Trevor Phillips working as some kind of secret agent, a James Bond-style adventure. Trevor's voice actor Stephen Ogg confirmed this concept existed. The other was codenamed Dead and appeared to involve zombies, similar to Red Dead Redemption's Undead Nightmare DLC. Neither one ever came out. As GTA Online became a money-printing machine, generating an estimated $300 to $500 million a year from microtransactions alone, the single-player DLC was quietly shelved. Rockstar never officially cancelled it, they just stopped talking about it. Some elements from those scrapped DLCs eventually appeared in GTA Online updates like the Doomsday Heist, but the standalone story expansions that fans were promised never materialized. That decision changed the trajectory of the entire franchise. GTA 5 never got the story expansion it deserved, and it is the reason why 13 years later, fans are still hungry for a Rockstar single-player experience. Number 1. Playing GTA 5 for the first time and realizing nothing would be the same there is no way to recreate the feeling of loading into GTA 5 for the very first time. Switching from the PS3 dashboard to the opening prologue in North Yankton, the snow, the heist gone wrong, the time skip to Los Santos, and then the map opened up. After years of GTA 4's grey and brown Liberty City, suddenly you were standing in golden California sunlight. The ocean stretched to the horizon, mountains rose in the distance, the city hummed with life. You could steal a car, drive to the beach, climb a mountain, rob a convenience store, switch to a completely different character on the other side of the map, and the game would just keep going. 3 playable protagonists was something no open-world game had ever attempted. Michael, the retired criminal having a midlife crisis. Franklin, the kid from the hood trying to get out. Trevor, the unhinged maniac who played by absolutely zero rules. Switching between them mid-mission during heists, with each character handling a different role, felt like science fiction in 2013. That first playthrough lasted 30, 40, 50 hours for most people. And when you finished, you wanted to do it all again. Not because you missed anything, but because you wanted to feel that again. The scale, the writing, the attention to detail, the talk radio stations that were funnier than actual comedy shows, the random encounters, the sunsets over the Vinewood sign. GTA 5 was not just a game. It was the game. It defined a console generation. It sold 230 million copies and counting. It held the industry hostage for 13 years. And no matter how incredible GT6 ends up being, nothing will ever replicate the specific feeling of 2013, when you were younger, when the world was different. When you booted up your Xbox 360 or your PS3, heard that loading screen music, and realized that Rockstar had done it again. GTA 6 is coming on November 19th, 2026, and it is going to be incredible. But before we move on, it is worth pausing for a second and appreciating what GTA 5 actually was. Because we are not just losing a game, we are losing the last 13 years of memories that came with it. If any of these hit you in the chest, drop your OG GTA 5 story in the comments. What do you remember most? And if you want to see the secret connections Rockstar hid between GTA 5 and GTA 6, that video is on screen right now. I will catch you in the next one.